Hi, this is Chris Hawkins, and you're listening to the Liverpool Connection Podcast.
Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Liverpool Connection Podcast. This is my football and music podcast where I bring on a guest to talk about football and music. And I'm Daz, if you didn't know already, if you're new to the channel, please like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. What I love about me football and music is I get to bring on people that I really respect musically. If people know me, they know I'm into house music and also drum and bass and breaks and all that good stuff. So this is an honor for me to have my next guest on. Real name Mark McKinley, but in the whole realm of the music biz, his name is Mark XTC, and massive drum and bass DJ and producer. And we'll get into that in a little bit. But even better, he's a Liverpool supporter, which means the world to me. So welcome, Mark, to the pod.
Thank you for having me, Dad. Thank you so much for having me. Well, it's just like, watching them and watching your podcast and seeing Crafty and other people on it. It's just like, oh, mate, this is ace. So, yeah, thank you for having me, mate.
Well, it's Liverpool Football Club spreads the world, it's global. But like all these musicians that I've had on, I didn't know Crafty was a Liverpool supporter, part of Ragga Twins, one's Liverpool, one's Spurs, which, sorry for Spurs, but they're still crap.
But yeah, we have a lot of banter about that one, as you can imagine.
Yeah, so it just amazes me, I just had Dave Haslam on. That episode will be going out in a little bit as well, and he's a West Brom fan. I've got Terry Farley, Chelsea supporter, coming on.
No need to Chelsea one, right?
Yeah, so it's great. I mean, it's always great to speak to fellow Liverpool supporters, but it's also good to
have other people on as well.
Other people on, and listen to why they think their team is the best. But we all know Liverpool is.
It goes that side, the history speaks.
Let's go back in your past and where were you born, and how did Liverpool Football Club come into your life?
Well, living in Manchester, you can imagine the amount of abuse I take anyway. Yeah. So I was born in Oldham. I was actually born in Oldham, and I always liked Kevin Keegan when I was a kid, from being really, really young age. Kevin Keegan was like the best thing since sliced bread. I didn't even know what team he played for or anything back then, because I was only really, really young. And red was always my favorite color. My dad was a City fan, but red was always my favorite color. So I didn't really understand anything but red and Kevin Keegan, and then see him on Superstars and all the old kid programs that used to be on TV. I was just like, wow. And then following Liverpool, it was like, this is my team. This is my team. That was it from that point. And I've got pictures of me when I was, I think, about 7, 8 in my Liverpool kit and my Liverpool top. And it was just Kevin Keegan. Everything was Kevin Keegan. Then obviously, from that point on, it just went on for Kenny to John Barnes, whoever it was always somebody in the team that was my favorite player. And obviously still red, still my favorite color now today. So never stop supporting my boys, man. Never.
Well, you're the same as me, because you're the same age, right? 53.
Yeah.
So my first match was when I was 6, and Kevin Keegan was my hero for like a year, because he left in 77, and I was distraught. I've told this before, where I had a massive poster of him and I ripped it to pieces.
See, I didn't go down that route. I was good, but then. I was like more of a him fan than my team at the time. Before obviously, when I was a kid, I'm like 4 or 5 years old. And then it was like from that point, then when he left, it was more about the team for me. Then it was like, right, okay, he's got to go. Somebody else is going to come in, and we're still going to be ace. You know what I mean? So I was welcoming Kenny.
Well, I mean, for me though, it was about the team, but I was so starstruck by Kevin. I didn't think anybody else could come in, and I don't think any of us would have thought. Kenny was a fantastic player, but we didn't think he would reach the heights.
Nobody was going to be Kevin Keegan at first, but it was more of for personally. This is just my opinion. I was like, I remember being a kid thinking, well, I just want Liverpool to be the best, and that's all I kept thinking. You know what I mean? No matter what he did or wherever Kevin Keegan went, it was like, I just want Liverpool to be the best. I don't care who else comes in; they've got to be the best. And I don't think I've changed that since then.
Well, it pissed me off because Kevin won the Ballon d'Or, twice with Hamburg, and I was just like, you bastard.
Yeah.
But we move on, but yeah, like those red shirts back in the day, the V-neck, the white V-neck, or the white collar were just
the round white collar. That's still, I still got mine. Still got mine. It's not my original one, but still got a replica one from. I wish I'd still had me one when I was a kid, but I still wish I had that one. But it won't fit me now anyway. But still having all the replicates. I mean, I think I've got one on now, one of my old ones. So yeah, love them, man. I mean, them days there, you had to have the kit. Didn't matter, what it looked like anyway. Just had to have the kit. I mean, I think I had the full kit, me, at one stage. It was I got to a stage where I had to have, shorts, socks, everything, full works.
Well, I mean, you were a kid. There's nothing wrong with having the full kit when you're a kid. When you're a 53-year-old man, no, please don't wear the full kit because we all know.
Still get the tops, though. Still get the tops.
Yeah, the top's all right, but if you're wearing the shorts and the socks with it as well, no.
Oh no.
So
I've seen people do it though. I've seen people do it.
Oh, I've seen quite a few people down the pub, and they get that one look, and it's like, well, if you're happy in it, that's all right. That's what counts, right?
Oh, that counts, right? Yeah.
If you can wear it and pull it off, then go ahead, lad.
Well, yeah, wearing the kits. I mean, especially if you're going to Anfield, you have to have your kit on. You have to have your kit on. You know what I mean? So,
especially summertime.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like when the weather gets warmer, obviously you're not gonna be like some Newcastle fans that don't even wear a top in dead of.
I mean, where did they get that from? From them people in Poland, and then just like turn the backs and just tops off and everything. It's like, what is that about? Really?
Yeah.
It's freezing. Snow's falling. What are you doing? People do it. Each to their own. I won't do it personally.
Yeah. So growing up, I mean, you especially, Manchester, Oldham, being a Liverpool supporter, like,
oh mate, it's horrible.
It must have been. But I mean, we had a really good team back then. We
was great. We was great. We was brilliant. I mean, winning. I think we won everything all the time. We was always winning, so it was great for me as a kid going into school with my Liverpool top on. But then, obviously Premier League era, when that started, that changed everything. But prior to that, we dominated. So for me, it was just great being a Liverpool fan, living in Manchester and living in Oldham at the time. Oldham weren't doing very well anyway. So for me, it was like, oh, you're a glory hunter. Well, how can I be a glory hunter when I've been following them since I was a kid? I didn't know no different. I mean, I didn't know no different. It was just I followed my favorite color and my favorite person at the time, which was Kevin Keegan.
So was your dad a City fan, right? So Main Road, for all those City fans that don't remember, there was Main Road before the Etihad. So and Main Road was full to capacity, unlike the Etihad. Always like to dig on them. God.
Oh, I'm just remembering him. He didn't really go to matches or anything like that, but he still, it was on your TV and everything like that. He'd be like, "Oh, this person's done this and this person." I'm just thinking, who are them people? I mean, I can't remember if somebody called Greenoff. I can't. That sticks in my head. Somebody called Greenoff, and my dad used to call on about. And I was like, "What are you on about?" You know what I mean? And for me, it was just like, can you not just see how good my team are, Dad? Why are you watching them? Why are you even bothered about them? So yeah, it didn't go down very well.
Yeah, I mean, for you then, when was your first
match or first interaction with the team?
Yeah.
First match must have been about 11, 12. Must have been about 11, 12. And Anfield was, it was just like the holy grail to go to for me. Just going to that place and actually walking up to it and all them people walking up. I remember, I think I went with like a family friend and it was just like, wow, what is going on? You know, just I was just completely in awe of everything that was happening. Everybody else, you know, in Liverpool tops, and it was just like, this is just like, this is ace. And then being on the actual, I don't know where I was sat because like I said, I was quite young, so I don't exactly remember where I was sat. But I remember watching and just thinking, wow, just like it sat in awe of everybody that was playing, and then thinking, I love him, I love him, I love him. You know, every single player that was playing, you know, from whoever it could have been, from Dermot to Green to Graham Souness, it could have been just like, oh, this is just great. This is, and I was just sat there thinking, this is just heaven. This is just heaven. This, and then I mean, going for years and years on from that point. I mean, I wish I could go as many times as I could now. You know, I have previously, but just being there and just being wherever you sat in the Anfield or Road End or wherever you sat in Cop, wherever you sat, it's just like, this place is amazing. I've been to many, many grounds, you know, watched football from Barcelona to Madrid to Seville to Bleeding Oldham, you know what I mean? And when you go to Anfield, there's nothing like it. Nowhere, no matter what ground you go, like, there's nothing like it at all. At all.
Yeah, I still, you know, still get goosebumps.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
Yeah, I remember taking my son, and when I took him, I mean, he must have been young when I took him. I remember taking him, was sat there, and he was just, I remember him sat there, just mouth wide open, thinking, wow. And then when you're singing Never Walk Alone, he cried. He actually had tears coming down his face, just like, wow. So, yeah, nothing like it. Nothing like it. And people try and say that there's other teams that are anywhere near us. They're not. They're just not, because we're just special. Really are.
Yeah, no, it's just, you know, when you walk up to Anfield, you just get the tingles, you know, when you walk up the steps and you just see that beautiful pitch, you know.
Yeah, even walking through the park and you can see Everton at the other side, it's just like, this is just madness. But it's ace. I just love it.
Oh, it's the best feeling in the world. Do you remember your first match?
Not fully, no. Bloody hell. I'm a bit old now. Don't remember the first match. No, I remember so many more going on, but not the first one. I just remember just thinking about the players that were playing and thinking, wow, I can actually see them. I can see the players that I see on TV. I can see them, and that'd be like the first time I've actually seen them, you know, live. So yeah, it was more that for me than trying to remember the time. It was just like a memory that you'll never forget. But I don't remember the game. I don't even remember the game. I don't remember who was playing.
Yeah, yeah. When you forget, then yeah, that's well, yeah.
I said I was about 11, but between 9 and 11, I was between them ages. So for me, it was just like, you know, just young kids sat there in awe.
Yeah,
Still,
when you go,
still doing it now when I go on now.
well, it's good when you go, you know, as a teenager as well, and you kind of, you know, like my granddad took me a lot, but you know, when I was finally able to go by myself, it's just like you just feel, you know, Billy Big Balls.
Oh
It's
yeah.
just, yeah, all right. I'm with the crew.
Going with your mates is completely different. Completely different. Oh, what? That is just acing it when you go with your mates. And you know, pub before, you know what I mean, full works, the walk up to the ground, everything, and you know, getting your little trinkets that you might get as you're walking up. Oh, it's ace. It's just, you can't beat that. That's something that I think that's the special part of going to any footballing person that will go to a ground. That's one of the special things that they love about it. But for us, you know what I mean? As soon as you get in and we Never Walk Alone starts, that's it.
Yeah.
That goosebumps. No matter who you are, even if you're an opposing team, you're gonna get them goosebumps, no matter who you are. My missus went and she's a City fan, and she was like, wow, what is this? I said, exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's not nothing like when you go to your ground.
Oh no, plastic flags, all that stuff.
They don't know what to think of us, huh?
It's just, you know, it's just one. I always tell people, like, because there's a lot of people, throughout the world that will never ever get that chance to go to Anfield, and I wish everyone could go, because it really is, at least one time. I kind of do get a bit pissed off when some people start going on about the day trippers and all that. But you know what? They spend money, they buy the merchandise and all that, and
Come from all over the world. You know what I
yeah,
mean? They travel from all over the world and they go to Anfield and they just do the tour. The tour. I mean, I'm going to take my little one. She's 9. She just turned 9. I'm going to take her on the tour. I'm going to do it. So it's not just us that do it. It's not just people all around the world that do it. So anybody that can put us down for doing that, that's just daft. That's just daft, that, because it's special. So yeah, you do want to go and see it, and you do want to witness the history of the place.
hmm I 100% agree. Take it all in. The only thing that does annoy me is like the people that do like have their cameras out for 90 minutes and stuff. It's like, just live in the moment. I think it's the same like in the, for me, the DJ world as well. It's like, go and experience it. Don't, if you want to take a picture, take a quick picture of the DJ or whatever who's playing on stage, then put the phone back in your pocket and enjoy
It's
the night.
that scene now in the music industry is right. You got I see it as two different paths now. There's the old school path with us DJs who like to play tunes and just want to get on with it and make people dance. That's that side of it. And then there's the other side of it where people now expect some form of social media interaction with that. So if you are performing, you have to have a video crew with you to perform. The video crew will do that, and then they'll share that after your set. There's hundreds of DJs that I know that do that. Mm-hmm. It's not something that I personally do. I'd take a few videos, or my missus might take a few, or whoever might be with us, do a few videos of the sets. But it's not something I'll purposely bring somebody to do that. That's not your job. Your job is not to actually interact with the crowd. Then the people in the crowd enjoy the moment, dance. Don't just sit there with your phones for the whole set, just recording the set and then going looking for each tune. That's like again, that's a different path. That is a normal pathway for other industries, other genres of music. That's just the pathway. They expect to listen to them tunes, got them on the videos, go back, listen to find out, right, and they'll find these tunes, what these DJs will be playing. So that's another way that they're interacting, by having the phones with the whole set up. It's really weird, but it is, like I said, different paths now, and the way the industry's changed over the years, it seems normal for many people. That's the norm for many people.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, it's branding, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've got to have like a brand now. You've got to have a big,
as an artist, you do, yeah, definitely,
massive social media presence. Like James Hype, he comes to mind. He's it's not my cup of tea, his music, but he's playing the game. He's put the brand out. Like, he has got skills, but the whole camera crew and like, it doesn't
a lot of
sit
people
well
I know
with
don't.
it just doesn't sit well with me. It's like, just come to a night. Just like I've noticed more and more. Some of the old schoolers are asking like attendances to like basically put stickers on their phones, or
Yeah.
which
A lot of people are saying don't bring your phones into the venue now. That's a lot of things that's starting to happen as well. But as again, like being a teacher, I have both aspects of that.
mm-hmm.
So I have my students that come in, they want to be DJs, they want to be the next Calvin Harris, they want to be whoever. They're looking at that and thinking that's what we want to go down. What path do I need to do? So I have to teach them not just DJing skills, but the social side of it as well as what can happen to them if they don't watch for the pitfalls that can happen with doing something on social media or putting something on social media that can hinder them rather than help them. So these are the two things that, it is, it's a catch-22, because like I said, I teach it, I live it, but then I'm still old school, so I still want to just like, look, you don't need to film everything, just dance. Listen to this tune that's coming in. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. So yeah, I have both aspects of that, which so unfortunately being a teacher, I have to teach it as well. So I do understand both sides. You know what I mean? The old school side and the up and coming side, you know what I mean? With these, I can't even say kids now because they're not kids, half of them, you know, between 25 and 40, and they're still doing the same thing. You know, they get the social media aspect that is first, and then DJing's after, which is like, no, wrong way around.
Well, the thing is too, you know, I remember back in the day, you know, when there wasn't social media, like DJs would cover the record with something, so nobody could. The train
You were
spotters,
playing.
you'd see that train spotted their heads just trying to go round and round, follow
Yeah.
the label. And now because you've got Shazam and all that stuff, people you know rip the song off, and
Now you
then
see where the phones are out all the time. All
yeah,
the time.
it's
Mad.
out. You know, that song that just came out is on the internet within 2 hours.
I seen it in an old school place the other day. I was playing old school thing. I can't remember who was playing. And I turned around and like there's like two punters there just buzzing, like dancing away, and then they got the phone out and I saw the Shazam logo come up on the phone. And I thought, no way, you're actually Shazamming an old school tune now. So I was like, wow, it's happening in drum and bass. Drum and bass is standard procedure. I see it every week in drum and bass, but in an old school, you know, rave, I was like, wow, okay, it's happening here as well. Okay. So yeah, yeah, it's like I said, the world's changed now, Dan. It's gone down a path which it's never gonna go back, especially now with AI coming in, it's changing even more.
Yeah, it's tough, but you know, you don't want to be like that. You know, that old fart on a rocking chair. You know, get off my grass kind of person. You know, it's a younger generation's time, and even though I don't agree with the phones and all that, they still seem to be having fun. And you know, again, that's what it's about. But yeah, you know, I have my opinions
You're not
on
the
it.
only one, mate. I do as well. You're not the only one. I do, but you know, unfortunately, when they're 18, 19 years old, they go into a rave with 10,000 other people in there. You know what I mean? They want to know every tune that this DJ is going to play.
Mhm.
Half of them, you know, some of them going in to have a good time. A lot of them are going in because they want to be up and coming DJs as well, and they want to know, right, what's that tune? I want to know what I can. And that's, I mean, back in ours, like you said, you know, we had the tunes covered up. You know what I mean? You couldn't even see what people were playing. And
Mhm.
then after the time when they did the mixes, you know, it was like, oh, where's that from? What was that? And these kids now will say, oh, right, what was that mix? Okay. And they do it within 2 seconds on you know, the little controllers that they have. Oh, there we go. That's what he did. Yeah, he pressed that and then they press two buttons and it's there. You know what I mean? But it's not the same as the soul of doing it live and understanding what you've just done to that crowd.
Mhm. So for you know, we'll talk about the DJing and stuff. How did you get involved in that? Was it, you know, you just obviously brought up in the scene and you were like, you know, I want to give this a go, or was it
Um,
mates that had
I
it?
was no, I was a break dancer, if I'm honest. I was a break dancer and I loved like dancing and stuff like that. But then I watched somebody called Jazzy Jeff. I watched Jazzy Jeff do this thing in about 85, 86, and he was doing this thing with the records, making them scratch and making them twist and doing all different things. And the rapper was emceeing over him. And I was thinking, I don't want to do that. What is that? And so from that point, me and my friend, I had a friend called Paul H, and we was like the older version of Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince. So you know, I practiced the scratching over and over and over again on my little one deck, and that was it. It just grew from that. And then my cousin Paul noticed I was getting better at this scratching malarkey. He was DJing all, you know, bars and places like that around Oldham, playing old school hip hop and R&B. And then he said, "Oh, come and do that scratching malarkey at one of these pubs." I must have been about 14. And he said, "All right, okay." Went to this pub, did this bit of scratching over this thing, mixed these two tunes in. Next minute, I was doing it every week, you know, with him. So, and then from that point, we formed a group called Mix Factory. Me and him and this guy, and a guy called Alan, formed this group called Mix Factory. And then we started playing bars, and then we got quite a few clubs started wanting us to play. And then I went into DMC and I won DMC at the Hacienda. Started playing at the Hacienda downstairs, playing hip hop, and that was it. But everything from that point just spiraled, and then drum and bass was formed from loads of old breakbeat breakbeat hardcore stuff that we was playing. So then I had the record shop called Spinning. Spinning brought in a new genre of music called jungle, and that was it. From that point, then, mate, it's just it's not stopped, and it hasn't stopped since. I'm very, very lucky.
But when you won the DMC, it was the Northwest, right? Northwest DMC Championship. How old were you?
17.
Yeah.
17.
That's
Yeah,
mad.
17. Yeah, it was really, really mad. 17,
I mean,
just had a baby as well. Just had a baby. 17. Didn't know my ass from my elbow. I didn't have a clue what the hell was going on, mate. And that was it. Just I was more involved in more obsessed with Liverpool back then than DJing. You know what I mean? Liverpool was everything. Back then, John Barnes, and it's like, oh, yay, you know what I mean? That was me. But then other people were telling me I was good, so I should pursue it. So I did, basically, and thank you.
well, to go from 14 to 17 in 3 years and be the DMC champion, that's mental to me. That's dedication. I mean, obviously, when you're that young as well, you got everything going on, chasing girls, watching Liverpool, and then at 17,
Baby.
baby as well. Yeah, and then you win the DMC. You're playing Hacienda, which again is in folklore one of the best clubs back then. Had amazing
Still a special part of me.
days.
If it wasn't that place, I wouldn't actually be half of what I do now.
How did it feel playing there, though? I mean,
If
because
I'm honest, I was a hip hop kid. So for me, the Hacienda, and remember I was from Oldham, so I just had a baby. So for me, Hacienda wasn't appealing. It was more the fact that I'm going into DMC, and when I got through to the evening, because you go in the daytime, you do your set in the daytime, you do your skills, and you do your little bit in the daytime, and then you get through to the evening showcase. Unfortunately, I got through to the evening showcase, and I won. I won with this guy called Beanie, and it was just like me for that. I didn't really even think Hacienda. It was like a few months later when all the other people was like, Mark, do you realize that was Hacienda? You was in Hacienda, you won it in there. Can you actually, is that sunk in? And it didn't sink in until I got the gigs downstairs and playing in there, and then it was like, well, this is now work as well as working in the record shop. It was work. I'd leave the record shop, go straight to Hacienda, play downstairs, and then go on. It wasn't it wasn't I wasn't like what the big house DJ, because I was more of the hip hop and hip house downstairs DJ. And then when I got the breaks to play at the upstairs and all the different raves that I played, that's when it was like, wow, yeah, I played at the Hacienda. I won DMC at the Hacienda. That's just madness. You know what I mean? But it happened, and it was like, like I said, folklore.
Yeah, it's just crazy because Sasha, Graham
Yeah.
Clark, Dave Haslam, Lauren Garnier,
Well, Sasha was like, this is. I've got a story for you. So there was a night in Coventry called The Edge. I think it was called Eclipse at first. And Sasha was booked to play one of the nights. And he used to always come in the shop, Sasha. He's like, oh, I need some tunes. I've got to play this place, And if you remember Sasha prior to the Eclipse, Sasha used to just play really, really nice piano, hands in the air stuff. And he'd come in and he's like, Mark, I need some a little bit harder stuff to play at this Eclipse place. You know what I mean? So I just give him loads of tunes to go and play. Played at the Eclipse, became a resident at the Eclipse, and became the superstar that Sasha is right now. There you go. Story for you.
Yeah. So you sold him those records, which is,
Years.
yeah, because
For years. Even when I was in Eastern Bloc, that was when I was in Spinning. Even when I was Eastern Bloc, Sasha came downstairs and bought drum and bass downstairs.
Oh, you're at Eastern Bloc as well.
Oh yeah, I left Spinning, and we opened up basically Pete Waterman bought Eastern Bloc. You heard of Pete Waterman? He bought Eastern Bloc, and there was an owner called John. John came to my shop called Spinning and said, "Right, Mark, I'll give you the second half of the shop. Do your drum and bass and your hip hop and R&B on the second side of the shop. You can manage it, do what you want. I just want you to leave here, and I'll give you whatever you need in that shop." My old boss, Gary, I said, "Right, am I either going to leave or are you going to make me a partner?" He didn't make me a partner, so I left. Took Marcus with me and a guy called Matty, a guy called Sefton. We all just moved over to Eastern Bloc. And, from that point, we got Kiss FM and Galaxy, record label, loads of things happened then from that point on. So it was a good move moving to Eastern Bloc.
Yeah, it's an incredible record store. I used to go to 3 Beat in Liverpool.
Oh, you're going to see Prue? No, not Prue. Prue was in Bolton, weren't she? 3 Beat, that would have been, was it Brendan?
And Steve Parry.
Steve, yeah.
So
he owned them as well. Pete Waterman owned them as well. He owned the 3 Beats and all them shops.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he bought loads of them. Flying Records. I think he bought Beat Street off Prue as well in Bolton. All the Eastern Blocks. Unity Records in London, Unity Records in Liverpool. So no, Brendan was in Unity in Liverpool, not 3 Beat. So yeah, mad.
Must have been minted then. Yeah,
he was. Pete Waterman, PWL just took over the world, didn't they? So.
So how big is your record collection then?
From being in record shops, from being 1991 to 2004, I think I stopped the record shop thing. So think of how many years that I've collecting records. I've got, I'll say, maybe about 10,000 here, and then at least 4 or 5 times that amount of my mum's.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I bet a lot of them too are like dub plates and white
From
labels.
1984 to present day.
Oh man,
that's some years, Darren. That's some years, mate. Let me tell you, that's some years. I think I bought my first ever record, 1983 or 84. It was Tears for Fears, Shout. First tune ever bought, and I've still got it. And yeah, from that point, then I've not stopped buying records.
It amazes me because I remember DJing and parking the car like a couple of miles away from the gig and having to go through fields with 2 boxes of it's a lot easier now with just
USB. I've been doing loads of vinyl sets lately, so I've been buzzing actually because I've been doing loads of vinyl sets. I've been like, yes, I love these vinyl sets. Bring them more of them. I mean, it's a pain in the ass carrying bleeding record boxes around, but yeah, it's just the the authenticness of just playing it, in front of all these people playing the record. It's like, oh mate, love this. And like I said, loads of dubs. I mean, especially the Intellect stuff. We've got so many tunes that didn't actually get released, or mixes and different things that we did. It's good when we do these vinyl sets and I play dubs and people are like, oh, what's that one? What's that version of that? I've never heard that before. No, that one never came out. You know what I mean? So yeah, I love that.
So is that where you met Marcus at Eastern?
No, I met Marcus actually at Angels in Burnley. We was playing there as Mix Factory, and Marcus was like the understudy to Paul Taylor, just like little warm up kid. But he played breakbeat stuff like me. He didn't play all the hands in the air stuff all the time. He played the breakbeat stuff. So he knew me from Mix Factory as well. So we got to talking. He ended up working in a record shop called Manchester Underground, but he still bought all his records off me. So I just said to him, look, why don't you just come and work for me? There's no point you going in that record shop down there. And when you come here and buy all the tunes anyway, just come here and work for me. So he came and worked for me in Spinning. So that's how me and Marcus got together. And that was in 92, 91, 92. 91, 92. And then, from that point, then we decided to make music together and basically did everything together,
What was your first setup like studio wise?
Oh, right. We had 2 S950s, a Yamaha SY35 keyboard, Atari ST, and a DAT machine. That was it. That was it.
Old
We,
school.
we we didn't get no synths or anything until later on. When we first started out, I think, in fact, first we had one 950 and then Akai 950 sampler, and then we got two because we it just we progressed, so we got two. So we had 16 outputs instead of 8, and it was just brilliant because we could just sample something. I mean, obviously, when you got your deck, you got your turntables. We had our decks at the side, obviously at the side. So when you're sampling something straight from the deck straight into the Akai, you'd have to speed it up, and then you could slow it down in the Akai. So it was, you'd save memory. Great days, mate. Not like now. You just sample anything you want, and it's crack on.
Yeah, it's a bit easier now, isn't it? With all the plugins and
Plugins change everything now,
yeah,
and that's the issue with these people that make music. A million and one people can make tunes, but it's to get it sound like all the other tunes that are out there, and you need the plugins more often than not to make it sound like them tunes that are out there now.
yeah. And I think having a sound engineer really helps because if you get on Beatport, there's millions of tracks out there that there's only probably 5 I really like because you can tell that they've got a sound engineer that probably cost about £5, and it just doesn't sound great. That's the thing. These bedroom producers, think they can do it all, and then they put it out, and you just like that. Just especially if you heard it on a proper.
I mean, you most probably know Sapo as well.
Mm-hmm.
So Sapo is another diehard Liverpool fan like myself. So him being from Manchester and being a diehard Liverpool fan, we got quite a close bond. Obviously playing the same genre of music as well. But since not DJing as much, Sapo's gone deep into his mastering and being a sound engineer, a studio engineer mainly. So he'll get a song and he can master it, make the sound just immaculate. You know what I mean? So that's why I think having, like you're saying, having a sound engineer or somebody understands that makes it life a lot easier. Because if I make a tune, if I don't make, I make a tune with other people like Amin or with Simon, 2 ex-students who are now very successful in their own right. If I make a tune with them, more often than not, they've already got the plugins and everything to get the sound right. If I make a tune on my own, I don't have any half the plugins. I don't have time to have set up the plugins. So what I'll do then is give it to Sapo and say, Paz, can you master this for me? Mix it down, make it sound, boost the bass, boost the drums. You know what I mean? That's what I can give him to do. So like I said, sound engineers can make your tune sound much better. But half of these kids already know exactly what they want to put on it to make it sound loud or boosted or distorted, whatever it may need for that specific track, using the plugins.
Well, I mean, I guess being like a teacher as well, being able to tell these kids you've got to really have a good ear because it is pretty simple these days to be able to put a 4/4 beat together or a break in there and put some synths over the top, a bit of reverb and all that good stuff, but to really make it sound like it should be on a world-class sound system, you need a sound engineer. But how did the teaching come out of it?
That's a very, very good one. When I was at school, I always liked maths. I love maths. I was a maths geek. Don't know why. I just love maths. And I had a teacher called Mrs. Pickles. And Mrs. Pickles used to always say to me, "You're really good at maths. You should pursue it. You're good at doing what you do with maths." I mean, I was rubbish at first. I remember that. But if it wasn't for her, I would have. She made me better. But I just always thought to myself, I'd love to be able to do what she did and implement that into someone the way she did it to me and push me and force me into this thing which I hated that I ended up loving. So I thought, right, maybe that's something I could do, especially when the record shops sort of faltered. I always thought to myself, I'd love to be a teacher and be able to teach these kids how to DJ, how to, make music, bit of maths. I would love to be able to do that. So luckily, I was very fortunate. There was a man called Martin Moscrop. Martin, ACR, Certain Ratio, band from Manchester, Certain Ratio. Martin was the bass player in A Certain Ratio, and he was also one of the managers at Manchester College. He asked me to come and do some guest lectures scratching and DJing because he knew me anyway and just asked me to come and do that. So I did that with John De Silva, one of the DJs from Hacienda. I did that with John. Obviously knowing each other from Hacienda days and things like that, it sort of was good to do that with friends. Then Martin just said, why don't you, I must have been about 25, 26 then, 27, late 20s. And then Martin said, right, why don't you just pursue this, teaching thing? You're quite good at it. I'll pay for you to go and get your teaching certificates. I was like, okay. So then went that, and he said, right, I'll pay for you now to go back to uni. And because I remember I went to uni because I got my first degree, years and years before. But then he said, look, I'll pay to go back to uni to get a teaching degree and be able to come here and teach full time. I was like, really? Okay. But, if somebody was willing to do that for you, then why not? That was, I can't remember what year that was. Well, I've been teaching there now 22 years. So I must have been 32. 31. Yeah, so I must have been 31 when I actually got full-time post at Manchester College. So yeah, Martin Musgrove got me the job in there. So yeah, it's like it's again friends of friends, and again what I was saying to you before, the whole Hacienda thing, from winning DMC, the Northwest Championships in, I can't remember what year it was, when I was 17. From that point, then linking up with them people then got me the job as a teacher as well as DJing all over the world like I do. So yeah, I owe a lot to the Hacienda, mate. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people do, DJ wise, even clubber wise, we owe a lot to Hacienda, as you said. But
my cousin giving me name, the XTC name, my cousin gave me that extra tough cotton. Because yeah, I was only a kid, you know what I mean? So I had no idea about drugs or anything like that. Still to this day, never had a drug or anything like that. So I'm like, keep touching wood that I can maintain that. But he noticed, he must have realized, if I call you extra tough cutter with the whole XTC thing coming in, he must have thought, yeah, I'm doing a nice one here with me. My cousin, he's doing well, he's scratching malarkey, so I'll use the XTC thing, and yeah, it'll still be even bigger because of the drug. Yeah, my cousin was very smart. Our Iggy, he was very smart.
The light bulb moment.
Yeah, he had lots of them. He had a very lot of them. He came up with the name Mix Factory. So the whole band, and then he obviously went and did the songs, Mix Factory songs, which are Burning, Take Me Away, etc., etc. It was Paul was the driving force behind all of them.
Well, I think it's great, especially you've got to be proud being a teacher, because you also work with one of your students, Simon, who's Exile. I mean, how good is that? To watch somebody who's in your class, and then you're like, this lad's got it.
Well, there's quite a few. There's quite a few. I'm very, very proud that I've got. I mean, a good 5-6 students that have gone into the industry and become very, very successful within the industry. I mean, Simon and Amin. So there's Boo and Exile. I work with both of them separately because it just, when you're at college and you see them and you're working with them at college, you see something in them. And I said that to them at the time. Look, you could pursue this and you could get into this industry if you do it right. Just take the step back. Don't just jump in like a million one other people. Take a step back and watch and own your craft, own your own craft. When you own your own craft, other people will see it. Everybody else will see it. Just stay with what you know and what your heart's telling you you love. Simon is a prime example of that. Simon's a rock kid, full on rock kid. When he was my student, he did not even know what drum and bass was. He didn't know what Logic Pro was, nothing. He was just into it. He loved his guitar. Still loves his guitar now. But when he got in and he realized what he could do and the potential of making music with a computer with his outboard synthesis and everything that he knew, he was like, wow, this is ace. I can just do anything. And as you can see, Simon's gone from strength to strength. Amin, he was always, Amin, I've said it many times, Amin had the heart and the soul what Marcus had. He was the passion that he had for music and having some kind of soul underneath it. Amin always had that. Even though he makes like noisy drum and bass music, he's still got that soul about him. So when you hear a Boo tune, you know that there's something else in it that and that's his soul. He's got that in him that he can just make a tune and make loads of people love it because it's part of him. So yeah, I love that. I love
Yeah.
them. Them my two boys. Them my boys, man. Them my two boys. Them two boys are really, really well. They're doing really well, and I couldn't be proud of them. I couldn't be more proud of them. If you know, I am so proud of them.
Yeah, I mean, it's just great to hear. You know, I mean, it's like any teacher wants to see their student do really well, but for you, you know, it's hands on. You're making tracks with your students, which
Yeah,
is brilliant.
yeah.
Um, I wanted to talk a little bit, you know, I mean, with the rave scene, you know, it was like hardcore and stuff. For me, kind of after the rave scene had kind of dwindled down a bit. For me, LTJ Buckham was a game changer for me, logical progression, because it was drum and bass that I hadn't heard before. It was a lot more jazzier, mellower, you know.
Soul
Um,
behind it. Other than just noises, there's a soul behind it.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and he's still doing it to this day. But you know, like Good Looking Records for me changed things. I was always massive into Moving Shadow. You know,
I sent Sai a message from Too Bad Boy. I sent Sai a message before. He was laughing about he's done this like little video thing, and Sai doesn't really do things like that from Too Bad Boy. Doesn't really do little videos and things about himself. So I was laughing. He said, "Oh, look at you looking all serious." So he didn't like it. But yeah, he started like the Moving Shadow everything. He started back up again, and it's just whatever what he's done with it now with the break. I don't know if you've heard any of the new breakbeat stuff that they're doing. Oh mate, it's amazing. It's amazing. Really, really, really good.
well, I mean, you know, you look on anything classic is Too Bad Mice Bob's Bomb Scare. Like
Still, still.
it's still you can play that today, and kids will come up to you and be like, "What is that?"
Yeah.
And you'll have a little laugh and go, "Well, you know, this came out in the 90s, but it's still to this day." But every track that was coming out on Moving Shadow, you know, for me, you had to get, and same with Good Looking, I had to get all those tracks.
Yeah,
It's
it's great having a record shop, mate. Can you imagine? Can you imagine having a record shop and say helicopter tune comes in?
yeah,
It's made by Deep Blue. Deep Blue is like one of Two Bad Mice. So, when Sean made it, it was like, what? And then everybody was like, "Oh my actual god, this is drum and bass. This is like the new jungle. It wasn't sort of drum and bass back then. This is the new jungle, which then got obviously, pigeonholed into drum and bass. But yeah, it was amazing having record shops and then tunes coming in. I mean, the Demons theme for me was one of the tunes that changed everything for me musically when making drum and bass. When you hear Demons theme, you just think, right, okay, the bass on that, the drums, that's me. That's drum and bass. And then obviously making music with Marcus. Marcus had more soul in than many people I've ever met in my life. That young man there, he and techno as well. The combination of his soul and techno together, he just it was great making music with him. He just ace, really was.
yeah. I mean, again, it's been a massive part of my life. Drum and bass. It's just it's a feeling. It
Yeah.
really is, you know.
Yeah.
Um, I
So when
like
when I mean Demon, I mean I just said mentioned Demon's theme. What do you think of like Horizons when Horizons came out back in the day? Because
oh,
Horizons like now is still anthemic still.
yeah. Every single track on Horizons was just well. I mean, for me, it was. I miss the days of actually going to a record store,
Yeah,
spending half the day there, only coming away with again 5, 10 records.
but listening to about 15.
Yeah, but actually, it was more the artwork as well. You know, I mean, the smell of brand new vinyl is
Yeah,
is just
yeah.
something that will never get old for me. But just you know, you get a track on Beatport now, you buy it. You know, it's on the USB. There's no artwork with it. It's just the whole record and just you know the
Doesn't
earth.
it doesn't have that feel anymore, does it?
No, it doesn't. But like, it was a game changer. Just
Where
everything.
did you buy your tunes from? Oh, 3 beat you got your tunes from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then over here, in Austin, there was a place called Alien Records,
Right.
which, it was brilliant, but shut down years and years ago. There really isn't too many places here. Um, if you want to buy vinyl, you've got to get it online, and then that costs God
Yeah.
knows how much.
And the shipping costs on
Especially
top of it. Yeah.
if you want stuff from the UK, then yeah. So again, I stick to Beatport or Juno. Get me tunes from there or
That's the way to do it, mate. That's the way
Bandcamp.
to do it.
There's a
Bandcamp,
lot.
yeah, Bandcamp as well. I mean, Mark Holton, he set up this thing on Bandcamp, and he always says to me, Mark, if you're going to release something, put something on Bandcamp as well. So, yeah, it's good. It's good. Giving back as well. I love the
Yeah.
fact.
Well, I love that with Bandcamp. A lot of producers put out some free tracks, but then it's also great because they do like the Bandcamp Friday, where all the money goes to the producer,
Yeah,
which again, you know this business. It's like one penny for you, a whole pound for the label.
the distributor, whoever it may be. Yeah,
Yeah, and
and
that, and that
I mean, like I said, when we had the record label, we had the Intellects record label, and it was great because Pete and he had an accountant, and the accountant just said, right, here's X amount of money for this next release. We didn't have to worry about pressing because we'd tell them how many we wanted pressing, but we'd go and sign the artist and make sure that we got everything lined up properly with the artist before we'd actually release the songs. Most of the songs were us anyway, between me, Marcus, or ST Files. It was like, so we had the majority of the tunes that was going out, and the money that was coming back was ours. So it was great, you know what I mean? Because we owned the label with PWL, but PWL said, look, no, you're controlling it. So any profit that's made comes back to you lot. You know what I mean? So after costs, we did make some money, but we didn't make a lot, but we did make some money because it came back to us. So yeah, we could split it between each other. It was good.
yeah. Well, I want to get back to Liverpool. So beginning of this season, after last season's just terrible,
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't even know what happened last season. I can't even put my finger on it.
Well, I mean,
Injuries, obviously, but it was just sort of just faulty.
burnt out. I
Yeah.
think some players stayed longer than what they should have. I don't think anybody thought Fabinho was going to drop off the face of the earth that quick.
Yeah.
He
Not the way he did.
just
Yeah.
lost his legs.
Injuries as well.
Henderson, all the engines that we had failed. They turned into,
And
broken
then Endo was
parts.
like, wondering why he was like, they was willing to let him go. It's like, no, because you are getting a little bit older and you did lose loads of energy. So, the season before. So yeah, we if somebody comes in for you, yeah, we're gonna let you go. And I see what they've done. And it is, I mean, McAllister, well, good God.
Well, I'm sure you're just like me. We basically got a brand new whole midfield. I never expected them to gel.
Not in any shape or form.
And if they would have,
Endo. Oh, what the hell?
yeah, people,
It's like Mascherano.
yeah, people laughed. People laughed at Klopp and
They
went,
did.
You're getting who again?" And that's what I love about Klopp and the scouting team. They get players that we aren't even thinking of. I think again, a lot of football fans want teams like they play on FIFA. They want the Mbappes, they want the Neymars. But that's not how Klopp works. And I love that he sticks to his guns, that he brings in players that we would never think of, and he makes them superstars. He makes them world class.
That's one of the lines somebody said to me the other day. When a player comes to Liverpool, they are made into stars. We don't buy stars. And
Yeah,
that's the fact of it. I mean, like I said, McAllister, anyway, we knew how good he was when he was at Brighton. We knew that because I always liked McAllister rather than the other kid that was with him. I never wanted him, and then when the 100 mil thing come in, I was like, really? We don't want him. We don't need him. You know what I mean? We don't want him. So then when I was buzzing when that all blew over anyway. But then Endo come in and they all started giving us the abuse. So Endo, you got a new Endo, have you? Ha, like that. Now look at him. Now look at him. That guy is an engine. He just doesn't stop. He doesn't stop. It just reminds me, just like Mascherano, he just up and down, box to box, just doesn't stop. He's not great all the time, but his engine. That's what we need. We needed that.
He does the job what Klopp wants him to do. It's not beautiful. It's not like mesmerizing to watch.
Nope.
I think if you study the game and if you're into analytics and stats and everything, then he shines.
Yeah.
To really see what he does. And I think like if you're there at the game, you do see what he does.
Yeah.
You're watching on telly, you kind of miss things because camera or pinned, over here instead of.
Why so many people slag off Nunes?
Yeah, exactly.
Because all they think that he's just a striker that's up there because they only see what they see on TV and they don't realise that kid is end to end. End to end. You know what I mean? He'll be in our box. He'll be in our box defending. Then next minute he's in the other team's box. Missing, but he's in the other team's box. Don't always miss though. Don't always miss.
Well, I mean, my thing with Nunes is he gets in these positions and he gets these chances. If he wasn't getting them, then I'd be worried. I mean, Mr. Robot, Haaland, was knocking him in last season for fun. This season, not so much. And he missed a sitter from 4 yards out the other week. But nothing's really said. But when Nunes misses, it's like
we'll
get
it. He gets it all the time.
Yeah,
which it's wrong.
Yeah, it is wrong. But you know what? I'm fine with everyone having a laugh at Liverpool. Blah blah blah. We're not going to challenge this year. I mean, I would have bitten your hand off if you would have told me we'd already won one trophy. We, nearly got to. Well, we won't talk about that one, the FA Cup.
Nope. Don't talk about that one.
Europa and challenging for the league. I would have bitten your hand off because
I'd at the beginning of this season, first 2-3 games in, I'd have gone, really?
Yeah.
Then now you think, bloody hell, what's he done? Brilliant, Kloppy. We're all going to miss him. We know that. We're all going to miss him. We're all going to miss him.
Yeah, and I just think, obviously, I think there's many factors in it. I think he's just sick and tired of probably the schedule. It's
media, home life,
the media, the refereeing decisions. I think he just needs time out. I think he will be the German manager. I don't think he's going to go back to club football for a while. But I mean, what's your thoughts on Jurgen? When he leaves, what are your thoughts on your memories of Jurgen Norbert Klopp?
Yeah, when he came in, I'd studied him. I'd done my research. I went online and I did full research on him. I actually researched every little thing about him. So I knew about him at Mainz. I knew about him at Dortmund, and obviously we played him when he was at Dortmund as well. So I knew about him then and his passion. I thought, right, well, that's the kind of manager we need. We need somebody like him. We got him. He chose us over them, so that was even better. I didn't think he was going to go. I didn't see it coming. I didn't see it coming this year. I thought, right, we're building something nice now. At beginning, in the middle of the season, I thought, oh, right, we're doing well now. Next season, we're going to be really good. We're challenging next season. We're going to be good, especially with some of the wins we got in mid-season this year. Bang some goals in against some pretty good teams. And then when he made the announcement, it was like devastating. But then who we're going to get? Who we're going to get? In my mind, who we're going to get? Obviously, first choice was Xabi Alonso. I said Zabi weren't going to come for two reasons. I said he's either going to go to Bayern because it's close to what he's been living for the last few years, or he's going to stay at Leverkusen because he's only been there not long, and this is his first year of success. So he's going to want to build on that rather than just coming straight to us and thinking, but we are not going to wait for him. So who we're going to get, instead. The Brighton manager, you know what I mean? He's a good manager. He's a good manager, but how will he manage people like Verge or Mo? You know what I mean? The sporting manager, now he seems all right. He seems though he might have something about him and he could manage big players. So we'll see. We'll see.
And then I think for the dark horse, Inzaghi.
Well, my dark horse was Zidane.
Yeah, I just, with him,
But he's come out twice now saying he wants a job.
Yeah, but Zidane and Liverpool for me just don't go together.
I know. But he was my dark horse. You know what I mean? But Inzaghi, wow, okay, Inzaghi. Go on, where are you going with that one? I didn't see that one because I thought he was, nailed on. He's not leaving.
Well, no, I'm just hearing this from like Neil Jones,
right?
And a few journos who are saying he could be the dark horse, because now, obviously Amaran is probably the leading candidate. But yeah, you never know. There might be a spanner in the works, and somebody comes out of nowhere because that's the Liverpool way.
That's the Liverpool way, and that's I was about to say it's word for word. Word for word. I was about to say, yeah, that's the Liverpool way. You don't know. Always, you can have your speculation. The next minute, bang. Especially with getting what's he called back? He has loads of little fingers in loads of little pies.
Yeah, Edwards. Yeah,
Edwards. Yeah, he has loads of fingers in loads of little pies. That's why United wanted him because they knew that he's got fingers in loads of little pies. He can bring in people from left, right, and centre, and people wouldn't even think of it, but they'll do a really good job, and that's what he's known for. So, yeah, God knows who we're going to get now.
I think
who would you like to get? Who would you personally like to get?
I like Amaran. I do.
I like Amaran.
He seems to kind of play a little bit like Klopp.
He's like a young Klopp for me. He's like Klopp and what's he called? What's he called? Ex-Chelsea United manager. He's like them put together. Mourinho. It's like Klopp and Mourinho put together.
Yeah, but
bit of sarcasm in there. You know what I mean? Like Mourinho, but then when you watch him, his managing tactics is a lot like Klopp. So
yeah, it'll be an interesting summer. But I think again, Klopp's left this squad really well. It's the opposite of how like Sir Alex left Man United. He left Man United an absolute mess.
Yeah.
And the infrastructure is terrible. It's still terrible. That stadium is falling down.
Yep, that's why apparently they're getting a new stadium now. Apparently,
yeah, Radcliffe's going to come in and revolutionise Man United. But they'll look at us as the blueprint.
they are.
Your infrastructure done, get your new training facilities done, get your back room, your analysts and everything sorted. You get the manager that is going to stay for a while. Ten Hag to me, he's a filler.
Never been a fan. I've never been. I mean, everybody was a fan of Fergie in some form of way, a Mourinho in some form of way, but this Ten Hag guy, when he came in, his attitude straight away was, I mean, you can be brash and you can be bold if you've got something behind you. He's gone in there, brash and bold, saying he's going to knock Klopp and Pep off their perch. That's the first thing he said before he even played a game. It's like, mate, really? So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But obviously, it looks as though they don't want him to stay, doesn't it?
Yeah. So, what are your thoughts for the rest of the season? Are we going to win the Europa and are we going to win the league? Number 20.
I was watching Jamie Carragher the other night, and he said, Europa is expected. Europa is expected by many Liverpool fans. We expect to win Europa. We shouldn't do. We should never expect to win anything, but That's his comment, and I thought, you know what, that's true. Many Liverpool fans automatically think we're going to win the Europa. It's not a given. It's not a given. We still have to fight it. The Premier League is still ongoing. Still have City as favourites. I want us to be favourites. I want us to be favourites, and I'd love to be. But the squad they have and the depth they have in the squad, it just takes us to have one draw. Arsenal have one draw, and they're back in. And they don't go away. They don't go away. I mean, how many years have they thwarted us? You know, we there was 1 year I think we got 100 points or close to 100 points, and they still beat us. It was like, really? And it's still that now. You know, it's still that now. Don't get me wrong, Arsenal have been really good this season, and they was last season, and they fought well, and they've got a good manager. But we're getting stronger, because we're getting, the first teamers back, and City are just that strong. Arsenal, just couple injuries will hurt them. Now, we're getting people back. A couple injuries now for Arsenal would hurt them, whereas City, they've got a couple of injuries and they're still strong. You know what I mean? They should have got beat by Arsenal the other day because they got so many players out. They still got a draw.
Well, that's what, talking to me mates, it was like, I wanted Arsenal to beat City because then that would have put them more back. You can never write off City. To me, they're still favourites to win. They just are.
Thank you. I'm so glad you said that, because I've had loads of people give me abuse for saying that, and it's like, no, they still are. You know what I mean?
We're still, we're still a little bit shaky. I mean, I'm not surprised because we've had half the team out, and I don't think the media has talked about that enough. When Arsenal get one injury, or
even United, they're down there, and
it's
they
not
still
stop. We've had Connor Bradley.
Connor Bradley
Bro.
as our right back for the last 5 months. 5 months that kid's been playing right back.
Yeah,
our main right back, to be honest. You know what I mean? It's not been Gomez. Gomez has been flirting between left and right. It's been Connor Bradley. If he's been fit, he's playing. If he's been injured, Gomez might go in.
Yeah.
That says it all.
Yeah, it's just not enough said. That these kids have stepped up. The fringe players. Every single one of the squad has stepped up. Gomez, to me, has been absolutely amazing. He's played defensive midfield as well.
I know, yeah. Left, right, midfield.
If you give him some gloves, yeah, they need to stop that.
Yeah, they need to stop that.
Yeah, but I think it's going to come down to probably the last couple of games of the season. I just think
Tottenham are very hard games. People, they're writing these teams off, and you can't. Don't get me wrong. Every game's hard. Every game's not easy.
Live in the real world. That's the thing.
Tonight is not an easy tonight.
On paper, we should be beating these teams, but this is the way it is. The 3 games that really are making me nervous are the 3 away games, all in a row. I think it's Fulham.
What's towards the end?
West Ham. Yeah, it's right bang in the middle. Fulham, Everton, West Ham. Those are the 3 games that make me really, really nervous, because in between we have at Atlanta away as well. So that's 4 away games. And I think if we can get through those, I think we can win the league. I do.
Injuries. Because we're getting people back could help us. But if we get a couple of injuries, I mean, having Ibu back is going to be massive.
Yeah.
Because him and Verge at the back, I feel confident then. For me, when they're at the back, them two feel confident. No matter who's on the right and left, obviously if it's Connor and it's somebody like, Robbo's back now, so hopefully it'll be Robbo on the left. But when you've got them two at the back, don't get me wrong, Kwanzaa's been brilliant. He's been absolutely brilliant. But when Ibu's in there and he's on form, you're not getting past him. He's just like a new Verge. He's great.
Yeah. So, not too long to go. I mean, I can't believe there's like 6 weeks left of this league campaign. But yeah, hopefully I'll be celebrating back
Like I
home.
said, like you said before, when we was at the top of, when we was talking, 9 wins,
Yeah,
9-1 nils, nine
yeah,
one nils. I'll take that all day. I'll take that all day,
100%.
mate.
Well, before we go, I always like to ask this question for musicians and producers. Your ultimate festival lineup, Friday through Sunday, and can be dead or alive. What would your Friday, Saturday, Sunday headliner
How many?
be?
Oh, see, because my lineups, it depends how many I can have. How many can I have? How many DJs can I have? And can I have bands as well?
Oh, well, it's DJs or bands, but
Right,
just I'll give you two each night.
to each night. Okay, so what am I to Thursday to Sunday?
No, Friday to Sunday.
Right, so Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday day. Okay, so Friday night I'm having Goldie live, and I'm having, just to be completely obscure, I'm having Carl Cox. I'm having Goldie and Carl Cox on my Friday night. On my Saturday night, I'm having, and I can only have two.
If you want three, go ahead.
I'm gonna have three. Good. I'm gonna have Sasha. I'm gonna have Randall, and I'm gonna have. Ooh, who else can I have on my Saturday night? I'm gonna have Laurent Garnier on my Saturday with Randall and Sasha. And on my Sunday day, oh, see now my Sunday day, I'm having. Who's my favorite DJ? I'm gonna have Jazzy Jeff. He's gonna be playing, and one more. Bloody hell, you put me on the spot here, Darren. I'm gonna have Jazzy Jeff, and I'm gonna have Calvin Harris. He's a bloody great DJ.
And people love him. It's like he does really well at festivals. And
Good DJ, mate. He's a good DJ. He really is. He's a good DJ. People, might make the music that not people, a lot of people like, but he's a good DJ.
and he's Liverpool's DJ, isn't he? They all love him. So yeah. Well, Mark, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Oh, it has, mate. It has. Yeah, this has been brilliant. This has been absolutely. I could do this all day, me, mate. I could just sit here and talk about Liverpool music all day. This is heaven.
Same. Yeah, that's why I like doing these.
This is.
Because it's
This
just.
is. I love this. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Seriously, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Thanks everyone for listening. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.